Welcome to Manifesting Your Dreams with Pablo Miguel. And we're doing a weekly program, but today I'm very, very excited. We have a guest here from Las Vegas. Today we have a guest from out of town. He's coming from Ohio. And I was in Columbus a couple of weeks ago and everybody was screaming that. I said, what are they talking about? So David Easterbrooks, welcome to our program.
Well, if you see me smiling, I'm here with Pablo Miguel, my friend for 25 years.
25 years,
we
man.
worked together.
We were five, right? We were five when we met.
Five. But look at us now. And the exciting thing is, I get to work with Pablo. I came out here to visit in Las Vegas. And for most of you, we're going to have a little conversation here because there's a lot of things I know in your life, in my life, in Pablo's life. We're going to share some things that hopefully will apply to you, will be beneficial, and maybe you can say, wow, that sounds really interesting. So Pablo?
Everything David talks about is interesting. I give him a call and he said, I'm going to Japan, and then he tells me he's on the speed train in Japan. Then I talk another day, he's in Mexico with the former president of Mexico. Unbelievable. But see, this is what our program is all about, manifesting your dreams. So I'd like to ask you, take a second and think about a dream you had, maybe when you were a little child, maybe when you finished high school, maybe when you started your career, and maybe you forgot about it, right? Or you put it in the back burner. I mean, this is something that happens a lot, right? People end up maybe in a job they don't really like, and that dream is kind of like, totally forgotten. So we want to help you every week to actually, number one, start dreaming again, okay? Because you have a gift. If you're still alive,
right,
that means you're not done yet, right? So you have a gift that through a network like this phenomenal network, social media shows, we're gonna help you on a weekly basis. So you, number one, you can dream again. Number two, you can get some ideas how you can put that dream into practice. And number three, we're gonna share strategies and introduce you to people that have made it happen. That went from, like last week, we were talking about thoughts are things. You have an idea, right? And then eventually you manifested that dream that actually happened. And one of the things that we use, there's a lot of places that you can go, but this is a book written by Napoleon Hill, actually almost 80 years ago, right? Called Think and Grow Rich. And when I mentioned this book, half of the people that I talked to, they said, oh my God, I read that book, right? But this is not a book you read. This is actually a book that you can put to practice because these are the 17 principles that mega successful people have in common. And again, we met 25 years ago. I seen him from nothing, build $1 million a year business that right now is pretty much in a automatic pilot, right? Like every year there's $1 million where you're doing some other things. And recently you started a very new business about a year ago. So we're gonna share with you how that happened to him. And then I want you to start thinking how you can apply some of those ideas, some of those concepts, how you can apply that in your own life. But why don't you tell us, just take a couple of minutes and share a little bit about your background, some of the things you know, so our audience get to know you a little better.
Well, they already heard I'm in Ohio. I'm in Columbus, Ohio.
Living right now, right?
But how did I get there? Well, I'm an East Coast guy. And like many of you, we've had different segments of our lives. I grew up in the East Coast, went to college, I taught school, but I had my first big dream out of college to have a business, my own business. And where was the best place to have my own business? California,
right?
So what do? You throw everything in your car and your dog and you head to California. And I had the good fortune, actually, Pablo, of meeting some people. I got my real estate broker's license, but I was introduced to somebody with a brand new idea. It was brand new. It was called Century 21 Real Estate. And I was a broker with my own company, but they said, David, why don't you join us? Because they had a vision. They had a map, and they were in 4 cities in the whole United States.
Just 4 cities?
4 cities.
Wow.
We helped design what the sign was going to look like. But here I was in a room with people with more money than me, a bigger vision than me, and they had the support team to drive that. So I joined them. And fortunately for me, we grew. I ended up owning 3 franchises. The company went huge. And in that process, guess what? I learned a lot. And
Okay,
so
mastermind.
I'd say one of the first principles is find people, whether today, tomorrow, but go out and find people that are up to something.
Exactly.
Right? So Pablo's always up to something. When he invited me to Las Vegas, I got to come here. I don't know what's going to happen, except I know he's up to something, and I'm going to meet other people that are up to something.
Exactly. And I remember moving to California. I remember Century
Yeah.
21. They had those yellow coats,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like it was like now. And now there's other companies right now like
Yes.
that are like huge. But at that moment, it was huge,
It was
and you
huge.
were at the beginning. So that's one of the chapters, by the way, we're going to be talking about
Yes.
later on. Is the principle of the mastermind, right? Align yourself with people that are sharp, and together you're going to build something, right?
Let me tell about, which probably relates to a lot of you. Century 21 in real estate was a great career, but it had its time for me.
Right, timing.
And in the 1990s, I reinvented myself to a new industry. I used skills that I had learned earlier, but I applied it to the health and nutrition industry. And guess who I meet? Who's up to something? That's when I met Pablo Miguel. So that's when we first connected. We did a number of major projects all over the U.S., but in reinventing myself and then identifying the right people to work with, I had tremendous success. I have one business career that's still going, 20 years, a company that pays me as an international and national rep for them. But I also have other dreams and visions. We'll talk about that.
Exactly, and that's one of the things. If you're able, like Mark Twain said, if you find a profession, a career you love,
Right.
you don't have to work a day in
Right.
your life, right? Now, if you notice, when do most heart attacks take place? Do you know that? It's 8 to 10 a.m. Monday mornings, right? 8 to 10 a.m. It's like your heart doesn't know what time it is, right? 8 to 10 a.m. Monday mornings, most heart attacks take place. You know why? You know what that? Because most people rather die than go to work, right?
Right.
So what happens is, if you're going to get a career, do something that you love, that you enjoy. And the second principle is do something that you build it,
Right.
but you don't have to be in it for the rest of your life. In other words, you can set the business up, you can retire, and that business could be running autopilot. So you're still receiving some income, because time is the only resource we have that we can't renew,
Yeah.
right? You can have money, you lose it, you can make it again. Health, you can lose it, you can get it again. But the time that is gone is gone. We don't get that back, right?
Right.
So gaining our time back, then it allows you to do some other things. So Napoleon Hill discovered these 17 principles, and the principle we're going to be focusing on today, we're going to be in a break very, very soon. And after the first break, we're going to talk about, it's called definiteness of purpose.
Right.
Definiteness of purpose. One of the things that you realize, most people are dabbling through life. They're dabblers, right? It's like they get all excited. Oh, I'm gonna, like right now, I'm very excited. Go, nice goal,
Yes.
hockey, right? But a year ago, most people, they had no idea, how to play hockey, right? Or anything. Now, we're very, very fortunate in Las Vegas that we finally have a team, and things are working where it's unbelievable, right? But if the team was not having the success that it's having, then people will be watching something else, right?
Yes,
They'll say,
that's
well, I'm
right.
going to watch something
Right.
else, right? So what you want to do is, you don't want to be a dabbler. You want to pick up something that you really like and stick with it, particularly when times are a little hard. But again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's the way we're wired as human beings, right? They go and they get a relationship. They get
Right.
excited. They just meet somebody, right? Oh my God, best person I ever met.
Right.
And then 3-4 weeks later, they find out like, well, that person, like scratching his ear all the time or whatever, and looking for somebody else. So we don't want to dabble. You want to focus on something. And in this, actually, a nice example we have is in social media shows. This is a great network. And Maria, actually, who's our founder, she had this vision a year ago,
Yes.
okay? And most people told her, oh, you're crazy, you don't have the time, you don't have the skills, it's not going to work. But you know what? She had definiteness of purpose, right? She had a vision. She said, I'm going to make it happen. I don't have the skills. I'm going to learn the skills. I don't have the contacts. I'm going to make the contacts. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to learn from them. And now a year later, this is unbelievable. Okay, so we want to invite you to watch other shows, because we're attracting amazing talent in this network, this broadcasting network. And maybe you have ideas for the show. Maybe you want to be a guest in our show. Maybe you want to be an advertiser or an investor. This is going to grow like crazy, just like when Mark Zuckerberg,
Yes.
started Facebook. Most people don't know that, but it was a very exclusive network, if you will. You have to be actively going to Harvard if you wanted to get a Facebook account. Did you know that?
Oh, no.
You have to be going to Harvard. If you were going to any college,
Right.
any university, you couldn't open a Facebook account, right?
Yeah.
So then after all the people from Harvard said, well, if you're an alumni, now you can get invited
Right.
by somebody that is going to Harvard, right? And then people say, oh, this guy's crazy, whatever. Then it was like, well, now they're opening up to the Ivy Leagues,
Right.
then any college student, and now, your dog probably has a page on
Right.
Facebook, right? My cat has a page on Facebook. Out of 8 billion people, there's over 1 billion people with a page on Facebook.
Right.
But you know what happened if you ever watch the movie The Social Network, which I recommend you watch, is like they came to Mark Zuckerberg and they said, let's do this, let's do that. And you know what he had? Definiteness of purpose. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he didn't let anybody sidetrack him. So just remember that. Write it down. And by the way, if you want to get a little bit more information, you can go to manifestingyourdreams.net. Manifestingyourdreams.net. Give us your best email, and we're going to send you a PDF how you can actually apply definiteness on purpose in your life, in your own life. So, David, we're gonna go to a short break,
All right.
and then we're gonna come back and hear your fascinating story.
All
So,
right.
don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.